I just got back from the Angeles shooting range with Janiel Schulman, Randy Herrst, and J. Ken Hastings, and I'm showing a portrait of Heinlein done by artist L.J. Dopp. And I just wanted to say that this has been a very special Heinlein Day for all of us because we're so near July 4th. And for us, Robert A. Heinlein really represents the best of America. And this is the cannon, this is the brass cannon, which of course, as you will shortly see, fired 4 times at the Angeles shooting range. Bill, you want to say something about what this means and the importance of the Heinlein universe?
Well, Robert and Virginia Heinlein used to fire this in Colorado Springs and in their home in the hills outside Santa Cruz, California, whenever they would have 4th of July celebrations along with the Declaration of Independence and the reading and all other things American.
And that means today was the first time the cannon's been fired, perhaps since the Heinleins fired it.
Almost 20 years, yes.
Remarkable. Let me show you this wonderful portrait that I commissioned artist L.J. Dopp to do of our hero. And hey, it would make a good-looking stamp, don't you think?
Hi, I am Janiel Schulman. I first met Robert Heinlein in 1973 after I had done a telephone interview with him for the New York Daily News, an interview which was subsequently published in 6 parts in New Libertarian Notes and an excerpt published in Reason magazine, and then ultimately that and other of my writings about Mr. Heinlein were published in my book, The Robert Heinlein Interview and Other Heinleiniana. Let me tell you a little story which Mr. Heinlein told about the brass cannon and how it became the symbol of the lunar revolution in The Moon is a Harsh Mistress. And let me remind you all, if you didn't know, tell you that the brass cannon was the original working title of The Moon is a Harsh Mistress. Mr. Heinlein tells the story of a veteran, I believe it was supposed to be a World War I veteran, who was given a pension by his town, which involved one small duty. A couple of times a month, he needed to go down to City Hall and polish the brass cannon which stood in front of City Hall. This was his job to earn his pension. And over many years, he saved up a little per year, and then he bought his own brass cannon so he could go into business for himself, polishing it. And this was Mr. Heinlein's comment on bureaucracy. With that, I would like to turn the presentation over to J. Ken Hastings, and Mr. Hastings will tell you about some other aspects of The Moon is a Harsh Mistress which you might not know. Kent.
Yeah, so the Moon is a Harsh Mistress, for those of us who are internet computer geeks, is an interesting read. There's an intelligent computer named Mycroft that is a character in the novel. And when you look at the specifications for how much memory and everything that this thing has, it seems rather underpowered by today's standard for having enough artificial intelligence to organize a revolutionary movement. I think I will now turn this over to Randall Herrst, who has helped with the camera work here and for getting the cannon ready for firing today, and who actually made a few things that were homebrew stuff to make it work, like the cleaning implement there. So, Randy.
Hi, I'm Randy Herrst, and I'm a Heinlein fan also. I've read most of his stories, and I thought it was a fun event that I got to participate in rebuilding the brass cannon and also firing it here today at the Angeles Ranges in Southern California. It was an interesting project. Like I said, I felt proud to be involved, and I think that if people look at this thing when it's on display, you'll find that it's in a nice state of arrested decay, which was better than the condition it was in when I received it, which was entirely falling apart. So I did enjoy putting it back together, so it's a nice presentable piece of equipment now. The brass cannon is generically based on a roughly Revolutionary War era naval gun that was used on the gun decks of major sailing ships. Now, the brass cannon we have here is maybe 2.5 feet long, which means it's roughly 1/5 scale. So it's a nice display piece that you can put in your living room or in your den or whatever, and it's a heck of a lot easier to maneuver around than the 4,000-pound monsters that were actually on the gun decks of, say, the USS Constitution. But it's roughly faithful to that era's design features, and when I rebuilt it, I tried to make it look as original but old or antique as was feasible. So when you see it, you won't see any parts on it that look new or look like they were built yesterday or anything like that. And I did try to honor that much of its heritage. All right. Hopefully this will all work. Okay. It had more of a flash than the others, though. Yeah, I didn't have the body in tight enough.
All right, that's fine. We're done.